welcome to a full self-driving video. I thought I'd play with a couple of cameras and just test FSD here in Australia. I'm on version 13.2.9 I think it is. Where would I see that? It would be under software. So here we go, 13.2.9. I'm on hardware version 4 and software version 2025.46.5. So with all the technical specs out of the way, I've had a lot of experience with FSD, and I took a trip up to Brisbane using it, and I thought it was the best thing ever. So let us into park first of all, and press and hold, and let's go. So full self-driving in Australia here is supervised, so you have to always be paying attention. You can't not pay attention. And that's the only way they've been able to pass through the regulations here in Australia. And it's starting to creep, but it knows there's cars coming. It's going to go into a gap. Here we go. With my trip to Brisbane, I had a few complaints, should I say, about full self-driving. And these were super minor. So full self-driving as a whole is this wonderful piece of technology, and it is, one of the best things ever about owning this car, being a Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive. It allows me to get the car to take me where I'm going, especially in high densely trafficy areas where it start-stop. It just means that I have to pay less attention and I can get the car to do the little things. On highway driving, it is really good because it can take care of the following distance, the little turns on shoulders, and that sort of stuff. So it has a lot of pros. Cons, and I'll come straight out and tell you the cons with full self-driving supervised here in Australia, so on this version 13.2.9, is one, the following distance between the car in front of us. Don't know if you can see through the other cameras, it shows I'm like literally 2 car lengths behind the car in front of me, and so that's a long distance. And even stopped, it will stop like a full car length behind the other cars. And what this means in everyday driving is that, especially in the city, where the traffic is much higher, cars will try and move into that gap and take over or push into you. Now it's asking me to apply slight pressure. This comes when it notices that you're not paying as much attention to the drive, and so being supervised, you have to constantly being looking forward out towards the road. There's times where it will allow me, a quick glance left or right, or especially moving slowly, it will mean that I can look out the window and what's happening all around for a bit longer periods of time. But eventually it will come up and say, hey, you're not paying attention, so look forward, basically. If you do this enough times, it will eventually disengage and it will stop driving, and it will just pull over, put its hazards on, and assume that you are incapacitated, that word. Anyway, I was on the cons. The speedness, the speed of full self-driving, the following distance. It's really difficult to gauge where it will choose the speed. So it will sometimes be 5, sometimes even 10 k's under the speed limit. And this can be really...
Turn left to take the Monash Freeway at BND Slip Road.
This can be really annoying, especially if you're in a hurry, so it's really slow. Other times it will be 5 k's over the speed limit.
Now turn left to take the Monash Freeway at BND Slip Road.
So it'll be really annoying, or too fast. So it's not very regular as to when it chooses the speed or how it chooses the speed. You can't really tell when it does and when it doesn't. So the other issues are things like potholes. It is really annoying in that respect, insofar as it'll choose to go through the potholes pretty much 90% of
In
the time.
300 meters, take exit E4 on the left onto Torrent Road.
And sometimes I think, full self-driving is in place so that it brakes your car, and so you need to eventually get new wheels or suspension or whatever it may be, because if you don't know
Now
already,
take exit E4 on the left.
Teslas are pretty much maintenance-free vehicles,
In
and
300 meters, turn left onto Torrent Road.
you hardly ever need to take them to a garage. What I might do is he's asking me to
Now
pay
turn
attention.
left onto Torrent Road.
Display software. Navigation. Yeah, navigation. Let's turn off navigation. Okay. So we're just turning into Turek Road, which is one of the major arterials from outer suburbs into the city. And as you can tell, it's doing really well so far. It sometimes is magic, and you will not even realize that this is a machine driving through AI, and it's doing a miraculous job of driving. Often better than most people out here in Australia. I'm a motorbike rider as well as a cyclist, as well as a scooter rider, and I note all the times where drivers just not paying attention. They're on their phones, especially here in Australia. And I'm not going to pick a particular generation or gender, but yeah, some worse than others. The other cons. The other con is that the navigation. So I don't know whether it's because the navigation software is out of date, or whether that's a couple of days, weeks, or months. But it will choose sometimes the weirdest way to get to places, and this is not often the fastest way. It will get you to where you're going eventually, but often it'll take a roundabout route to get there, or it'll take a longer route. 9 out of 10 times it will take the best route, but that 1 out of 10 time can get annoying if it takes you in a big loop around unnecessarily. But apart from that, it's very good software, and anybody that has actually experienced it or been in the Tesla with FSD driving will attest to how good the software actually is. I've just had a chat with a friend of mine who is very against Elon Musk, and I think this is such a shame. People who have this tendency to I won't get very political, but we'll say if you are making a purchase choice because of the CEO of the company, or other socio-political matters, I think it's a mistake. Tesla is such a good car that it would be such a shame to miss out on experiencing not only the software or the hardware just because you feel a certain way about the CEO of the company. And I gave the analogy of BMW or Mercedes, and if you felt that way about the CEO or manufacturer, Mercedes, BMW are German cars, and they have a history with Hitler and the Nazis. So I mean, there you go. You can't kind of pick and choose your battles. If you're just following whatever mass media is telling you, then you're going to make poor choices. Yeah, I'm really happy with my Tesla. I can't fault it. It has been such a pleasurable experience, from actually buying the car to picking it up. It's just been seamless. To then ownership. I haven't had any issues with the car whatsoever. There was a incident whereas the car was involved in a car park. I had left it for the day, and an unaware lady opened her car door and hit or chipped the side of my door. And as you know, Teslas have got the Sentry mode, and so everything was captured on camera. I shot the footage over to my insurance company, and they were able to find the lady involved, and she paid my excess, and I got the car fixed. It wasn't much, it just needed a bit of a polish and buff, but it could have been worse. And I just think that, you know, people need to be more aware of what they're actually doing. Here it pulled in front of the car to get in front, which is awesome. But then sticks to 50 k's an hour, so it would be frustrating. Here's another thing. If you're driving in Melbourne, tram tracks are the bane of my existence with FSD. Sometimes it will choose to go off center and won't be on the actual tram tracks, but right now it's on the tram tracks and the car is just kind of wobbling a little bit, and that can be really off-putting when you're driving, and so that's just something to keep in mind. I'm sure other cities won't have similar issues, but definitely in Melbourne it is a bit of a worry. And because of the speed of FSD, because of how slow it or how cautiously it drives, you'll often get drivers trying to push into you or get past you, which can be really annoying. And we are close to our destination. So here it's just going on the tram tracks, which is it's squishing the wheels a little bit. There have been some FSD drives where I've driven and I've been a little bit worried, or I've had to pay or intervene into the drive where it's either taken a street too early because it's seen two streets as the same, or it has been too aggressive and pushed in to a turn when an oncoming vehicle is on its way. Never did I think that it would cause an accident or it would crash. However, it has, it's been a little bit too risky. But I must say, on days where I am tired or a little bit fatigued after a long day at work, it is so nice to jump in the car, push a button, and know that it will take me to my destination safely with none or very little intervention, and I'll get to my destination safe and sound. There's been quite a few times where a friend of mine has worked really late or super early and been on the way home and nearly fallen asleep because they've been so tired. Had they had a Tesla, it could drive them home on those occasions, which would be a lot safer on the road for the rest of us. And with the younger generation being so obsessed with technology and phones, and not being able to get to their destination without having a glance at their phone, this would mean that the distractions would be allowed and they would be able to get to their destination without endangering other drivers by having the car drive. I really think, and the data does show this, I really think that FSD is going to be a huge, massive changer in how we drive and the impact that our actions as humans will have on each other and society as a whole. So we're pretty much at our destination. FSD has been known to park itself. There is no parks available here, so I'm going to assume it's just going to continue driving or it'll pull over at some stage. It has parked itself in the past and it has it's literally just indicated and just pulled over at the side of the road. it's found a park in other scenarios. Oh, it was gonna turn over here. What's it gonna do? Is it gonna turn? Yeah, it's gonna turn into this street. And I might actually get it to pull over here. This will be the end of our drive. I'm picking up my beautiful wife just around the corner. And voila, that's it. Full self-driving, supervised, here in Australia.